Katie, welcome. This is Joe. Douglas is joining us any second now.
Hey Joe, how are you?
Great. Thank you. Just to manage expectations, in case no one told you, Douglas will be going live on Facebook. So hold all questions till the very end if there are any. But we're going to keep anyone that's in the Zoom on mute.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Douglas. Now you need to stream into Facebook REIM.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay first?
Absolutely.
Crystal clear, hopefully. All right, good. I know the audio gets a little funky sometimes. So what's up, Katie? I see you there. How you doing? Let's see here.
Good, how are you?
Excellent. Excellent. Just back to backs this morning, but all good stuff. Let me see. I don't have the permissions to stream yet, Joe. You got to give me the host permissions.
That's right. My bad.
That ice cream cone picture makes me want ice cream now.
Oh yeah, I kept that there. I was gonna move that out of the way, but I decided to keep it there. It's Friday after all. My daughter drew that for me a couple weeks back.
Go ahead, Douglas.
Excellent. All right, cool. I still don't have it, unfortunately. It says.
Oh, so I have to make you host.
Maybe full host. That's fine. Yeah,
yes, and then you make me co-host so I can take care of everything else.
Okay, no problem. There we go. All right. So then I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna go ahead and stream that into.
Yes, your fans are waiting, man.
I know, right? They're like banging on the door. All right. I do have slides if we need them, but I may not. I'm just so let's see. Share to the group.
Make sure you make me co-host.
Yep, got you. All right. I think we're live inside the group. We're about to be. Happy Friday, everybody. It's that time of day on that day of the week. Fridays at 1:04 to be precise. Had a couple of technical challenges there. Got it sorted out. Thank you, Joe, and thank you, team, for getting us set up here. Those of you that are a part of the Growth Collective are welcome to join us, I believe, inside the Zoom. If you're able to join us, if you don't know what the link is, you can go ahead and shoot us a message on Slack, and we will get that over to you. If you don't know what Slack is, even if you're not a TGC member, you should check out Slack. Slack is a pretty powerful, free, but also, I guess, a freemium is like what they call it. Whereas you could have a free version, but you could also get the one that costs a little bit of money, and it's pretty powerful. You know, I like to use it for sending voice messages on my phone, sending out messages to an individual, sending out messages to our whole staff. There's different channels on it. So I make no benefit besides you guys being more productive by using the tool. And if you're a client of ours, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And sometimes those notifications, we got to get that sorted out. Some of you folks don't have the notifications. That's the one downside. If we do send out a message to a client and you guys don't get a notification, you know, that's a challenge. But nonetheless, slack.com, we use it every day religiously for our company and for our clients. And so check that out. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things to talk about, which is wholesale real estate. And we're going to be talking specifically about the hybrid wholesale. And I don't have a trademark or an R or a C or whatever you want to call it. I haven't registered the term. Maybe I should. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal though. I'm more about putting stuff together and helping people do the same. So I'm not too concerned about the term. Maybe someone else called it something or they use that term somehow, but I'll tell you more about what that looks like. And essentially what it boils down to is how you can participate on a project that you otherwise would not be able to do on your own, but still earn a reasonable fee or amount of money profit upfront in a deal, all while doing the same. And so it's really a blend of the best of both. I want to get a quick win. I want to get some profit at the closing table for putting this whole thing together. And I want to see how I can participate in a deal and get an experience and get maybe a little bit more profit after something happens in a particular project, whether that be a fix and flip, a buy and hold, another opportunity. And so I do have Zoom set up here so I can share. I may not share. I can look at my slides as I'm talking here. So forgive me for not looking right at the camera at the moment. I see you guys though. I see Alicia's joined. What's up, Alicia? How you doing? I see Katie. And I said we have some folks on Facebook Live. Do me a favor on Facebook. Those of you that are inside of Facebook, you guys can go ahead and put a comment and tell us where you're based out of. And maybe if you have done a wholesale deal before, if you've actually done a flip on a wholesale and what that looked like, if you want to share any details. If not, no sweat. Also let us know, have you done any fix and flips, right? Because basically maybe some of you want to do fix and flip, you want to get buy and hold, but you've only done a wholesale deal. So if that kind of sounds like you, this is a great reason to sit here and listen to this. And let's say you also, maybe you have deal flow, right? If you have deal flow, stuff's coming to your inbox, but you don't have capital flow right now. You don't have the capital to do all that deal flow, to buy all that property. Then you also want to consider listening to this conversation. If you've got experience, but you don't have specific kind of experience to do a certain kind of deal, or maybe you have no experience, but you know people that are experienced, this is another reason why you'd want to listen to today's conversation and see how you could enter into an experience of something that's beyond what you normally would otherwise do or have done. And let's say you just have capital, right? If you're just sitting there with capital saying, how could this benefit me? Maybe this can be an opportunity for you to find an opportunity that you could pass to somebody else and bring some capital, but maybe get paid something for bringing your capital together on that deal and creating a team, but then ultimately running that project in collaboration with somebody else who's got that experience. So that's another way you could benefit if you have capital. And if, let's say you have construction, right? Let's say you're in the construction business and you're an expert at doing renovations for other people, but you just haven't actually done your own one yet. You haven't bought a rental property yet. And you're trying to figure out, how do I make money as a construction professional while also profiting as a real estate investor? And how do I do that without having to figure it all out myself and sourcing the deals and bringing capital, all that kind of stuff? This is another reason why the hybrid wholesale might be something to consider. And I know I got real estate agent friends in the room and people that do mortgages as well. So if you already have stuff coming across your desk that are opportunities and you have clients that you're serving and there's value there that they bring to you and that you can bring to them, there's a trade of value. Another great reason to say, how do you leverage your experience in those respective service-based industry type things, agency, mortgages, other types of services that you provide, and leveraging that experience, right, to bring those resources to a deal. And to basically what the whole thing here is about creating a team, right? We want to think this business in my book, right? Other people have written books in a whole different way saying, buy everything, own it, keep it yourself. It's all about you. Like, that's fine. God bless if that's what you want to do. That's not my personal favorite thing to do. I believe real estate investing, like basically business, is a team sport. And so what that looks like in real life is a team has different players, right? There's different roles that have to be played. There's different players in the game that play those roles. There's a coach, usually. There's a staff, right? There's people helping get this thing done. So I happen to be a coach of the Growth Collective. I happen to be a coach and mentor to the folks here in this room, in this real estate investing mastermind group. I also am a student though, right? So I'm also learning every single day. I came out of a meeting this morning. I always learn something in that meeting. The exchange group down here in Sarasota, I learned a bunch. Sit in the room with some really successful real estate investors have been doing stuff for decades, right? Literally decades. And even those that have just been doing it recently, but have been doing amazing things, like guys that you hear on the TV shows, the guys that you see on sites like Bigger Pockets, right? I don't have the permission to drop their name, but just look up different people on there and you could probably pick a handful of them, and they happen to go to some of the same meetings that I go to. So it's a blessing and honor to be around those individuals and just really successful people. So the thing is, so I'll give you an example, right? Like in that group, right? The question is, how can someone like me, who's got some experience, bring value to a group like that already has way more experience? For example, what's my value, right? So let's put it on Doug for a second. Well, my value is I might have a deal, right? I could just wholesale flip a deal potentially to someone in the room, which I've actually done something like that with this group, but not exactly to the group, or from the other way around, from the group to someone else, where I've entered into a contract and I bought a deal from this group and sold it to somebody else. Company has, right? That's one way I could do it. But I could also, right? I'm going to give Joe here, I'm going to get you the access to control everything else. I could also see what are my other services that I bring. So just to kind of take inventory, to give you an example. So I say, what does Doug himself, what does Katie, Alicia, Mr. Beck, Mo, Joe, I see Chris, I see Wendy, I see who else on Facebook? I see Dane, Donna, Esther. How you guys doing, everybody? Sherry's here as well. Ron's here. So what do we all bring that's still valuable to the group or to the individual that brings me this opportunity? The question is, what do you have, right? And what do they have? And then what do I figure out is how do we match those haves and needs, like they talk about in the exchange group every single week? How do we match things up? Well, I gave you some examples, but let's talk specifically of a scenario like, let's say for me, just to give you an example, and then we'll see if you guys have any particular questions. I'll show you some stuff and on the screen and kind of go through some of the other fundamentals, if you would, of the wholesale process, and then kind of parlay it into the hybrid wholesale. But let's say someone like myself, if you're listening to this message, you've got some experience, right? A good amount of experience. I got a couple hundred deals under my belt, and I've got a lot of real estate that we've transacted on, both renovations and rental property and all kinds of cool stuff. But I don't have experience, let's say, for example, doing a lot of new construction. I don't have a lot of experience doing new construction. I've done some on a team, right? I've also don't have a lot of experience doing, let's say, land flips, right? I haven't flipped land. I haven't done a whole lot of commercial, like larger commercial, medical, office, apartments, that kind of stuff. That's not really my forte, my strength, my focus. But the question is, that's kind of what I don't have, right? So that's what I need if I want to grow into those things, if that's part of my goal. So you kind of you're listening to me now, take inventory of what you have and what you need or what you want, right? That's kind of step one. Step two is who has what you need or want, right? And what benefit can you bring to that other side? What benefit can you bring to the other individual? What benefit can you bring to the other group? What do you bring different, or what do you bring more of that they need? So let's say in the example of a commercial real estate deal, right? A commercial real estate deal needs capital. A commercial real estate deal needs management. A commercial real estate deal might need construction. It might need a lender to refi. It might need just a person that has ambition that wants to go make something happen and willing to put in time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears, as they say, right? So that's kind of what is needed. Now the question is, what do I have though, right? So if I look at what I have, what does Doug have? I have the capacity to access commercial lending, right? So I have multiple connections, and there's some really cool stuff we'll be talking about and sharing with you guys really soon about some major developments on my side that will be announcing officially. But fact is, we work with a group of funds all across the country as of now with helping people secure commercial loans on property. And we work in a way that we try to get the best deal on the commercial loans only to entities, right? Real direct lending is only a commercial loan marketplace, if you call it that, concierge, right? To connect the dots and essentially bring together the best deals. But we bring that through relationships. So one of the things you want to say is, what do you have, listening to me now, on the relationship level? What do you have in place? Who do you know? And what do they bring that you can leverage? So in this case, I have relationships with funds that will lend most of the money. So then I go into a room full of people that want to do commercial deals, and they say, who's this guy Doug, and what does he think he's going to do in my deal? Well, when I say to the room that I could bring 75, 80, 85% of the cost of the project through a loan that I can help put together with the right people and minimize the cost of capital, right? That might be of interest. It might be, may not be. Maybe they're like, oh, I don't need that, but I could bring it to the table. If I say that I also happen to have contacts that have experience doing commercial real estate, which I happen to have. I have investors and individuals that have done apartment deals, syndications, those kinds of deals, and have had experience underwriting those deals and managing those projects and getting them stabilized and refinancing them. And I have people that can do the refi loan. So that's another thing I have. I have a relationship with those individuals. So wait a second. So far, we're saying it's not his own money. It's not his own experience. That's what we have so far, just to be clear. Without any of my own money, without any of my own experience, and check it out, without my own deal, right? It's like a Boy Scout thing or something like that. But those three things, I don't have to have my own money, my own experience, my own deal. That should get you excited or interested if you haven't already been by just thinking about what this is all about. So what about the deal? Well, the deal is going to come from the party that's given me the opportunity to do what? To purchase the property. To purchase the property. So what do you mean? I thought, how am I going to purchase the property? I don't have to have all the money. No, I just told you that's not necessary. What about the whole management and construction and dealing with the tenants and all this other stuff, or doing whatever kind of deal you're trying to do? Don't have to worry about that. Well, not necessarily. So what about the deal itself? You don't have to find the deal. No, you don't. Like, and this might sound wacky, right? And that's okay. Like, you guys, what is this? Is this guy serious? Like, Douglas J. Beck, who is this dude? Like, is he for real? I could tell you that out of the 220 some odd deals that we've closed, I've only stepped foot in probably about 8 of the houses and whatever else. If there was a piece of land, I've been on that property, and those are mostly wholesale flips that were brought to us by other investors that we then figured out we figured out where do we bring value. So JDL Ventures said, hold on a second. We got this network of investors, these people that want to buy real estate investment deals all across New Jersey and now Florida and a couple other markets as well. And we said, wait a second, how does that bring value to the individual that brings us an opportunity to buy the property? One of the obvious things that I realized as I was kind of graduating from just a wholesale model was that the same people that I could bring that deal to, as in wholesale flip, those same individuals would also be open to saying, hey, you know what? Instead of me making money or as much money on the front end, they might be interested in saying, well, what else could Doug do? Or what else could Doug's team do? What else could the resources that Doug brings together, the contractor, the agent, the whatever, lender, right? What else could Doug bring to the table to give him a position of ownership or profit share in that deal without having to come into my own pocket, my own resources of time, my own experience? So again, that is not wholesaling, right? The way that most people, if you guys don't know what wholesaling means, by the way, see some folks on Facebook. I appreciate you being here. If you could do me a favor, if you haven't already had the chance to put in a comment to let us know where you're based out of and also kind of what brought you here, if you haven't shared that yet, what you've already been doing. I see Dane says he lives in New York City, landlord in Newark, New Jersey, have not done a wholesale deal yet. Okay. Donna, I've seen Donna. She's working on some land stuff, I believe, in New England. Esther, I don't recognize your name, Esther, but I know you've probably been in the group for a little bit. You're newer to investing, so that's cool. I appreciate you sharing that. Ruby's there, and Super Hen says facts. So I don't know. Tell me more about facts. That was probably a comment I made. So, and we got Cynthia and Claremont. So excellent. And I know I see some folks from the Growth Collective here in the room. How you doing, Marlo? Good to see you here. Candace just joined, and Alicia. And we've got a group inside of our Zoom here. So if you want access inside the Zoom, we're going to have a chance for questions towards the end. You guys just got to let us know that you want to participate inside the actual meeting, on this meeting and other meetings that we have throughout the week. Hit us up, hit me up on Facebook with a DM to say Zoom. If you send me a DM that says Zoom, I'm kind of going to know that you want access to the Zoom, and I'm going to talk to you about how that's possible. All right. Houston, 10 wholesale deals. There you go. And then Alex lives in Los Angeles. Excellent. So check it out. When we're looking at how can we add value, I want you guys to take a piece of paper. This is a pen. I'm not going to try to tell you to sell me this pen like some of those shows you've probably seen, but this is called a pen. It's a blue pen. And then check it out. This is a notebook. We put this on the table and we open it up and we write stuff down. Okay. So we got to write some stuff down today. We're going to take down some notes. I'm being silly, guys. It's Friday after all, isn't it? And it's about to be Memorial Day weekend next week. So that's exciting. Hopefully you guys have some plans and the weekend's coming up. Hopefully you get some time with your family and your friends. So write down, first off, what do you have, right? This is what I have. I just got time. I got ambition. I got interest. I got focus. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Cool. Now the question is WHO. WHO. weird, isn't it? WH is it's WH, but it should just be HOO or something, but it's WHO. So my dad would probably chuckle at that one. So who do you have? Okay, what do you mean, Doug? There's two buckets. Deal flow, capital flow. Let's say that one more time. Deal flow, capital flow. Okay, let's take a step back again. Wholesaling. What is wholesaling the way I describe wholesaling? Because there's different people that say different things and describe it different ways. Wholesaling in business is buying something in a large enough quantity and getting it from the supplier or the manufacturer or eventually raw materials, and then taking it and putting it all together and selling it wholesale in bulk at a discount on a supply chain to what's called the distributor, right? A distributor then takes those products or services, or in this case, real estate, and distributes them to somebody who is the consumer. The retailer will do that also, right? The distributor can either sell to the retailer, or the distributor can go what's called direct to consumer. That's in business. So if I think about that and I say, how does wholesaling in real estate fit into that supply chain analogy? By the way, you guys don't know, I spent almost 10 years invested in really, I wouldn't say it's all investment. It was a lot of time expensed as well, I think you could say, but it was a lot of investment of time in my experience in corporate America, working at Johnson & Johnson, really an amazing company in a lot of things, but also very challenging to be in that big pharma and also consumer products. If you don't know the news, you can look into it a little bit. There's some interesting stuff happening, not at any given time because of the nature of the business, but learned a bunch, right? I worked in procurement, in information technology and procurement. And so I know supply chain from literally living through it and dealing with what are called suppliers and vendors, right? And so I was just on a call actually with Andrew, who's one of our TGC clients, and talking about some stuff. He's also in procurement, works at a big company, but he's a real estate investor as well. So procurement, though, right, is the buying process. We source stuff. We buy stuff in procurement. So in this case, what are we buying in real estate? We're buying property. We're buying deals. We're buying homes. We're buying buildings. We're buying land. We are sourcing. Okay. So write down the word sourcing. In the sourcing process, to be the buyer, we have to know a little about what we're buying. We have to understand what are the requirements of what we're buying. What's that scope of what we're looking to purchase? And what does that scope of work look like if we're doing services? What are the requirements for us as a buyer to buy stuff? So if you don't have clarity on that, really almost everything else I say doesn't make a difference and matter that much, because if you don't have clarity about what you want to buy as a real estate investor, it's going to be very difficult for you to do even what I'm going to talk about today, which is the hybrid wholesale. So first step is get clarity on what kind of properties we're going to be buying, right? Take inventory of who you know that can help you do that. And the two things we said before, deal flow and capital flow in the wholesale space. So deal flow, capital flow. Who do I know that gives me deals to look at? If it's zero and no one, then check it out. That's the first problem. You need to find individuals that already have deals or potential deals, right? There's people in this group that are commenting every week on the chat that you should be connecting to potentially and saying, hey, Superhen MC, don't want to wholesale anymore, want to flip, but maybe, I don't know his story. I think it looks like a gentleman in the picture. I can't really see that far away, but he or she is looking to do deals in a flip model. They're not looking just to wholesale, but maybe they've got opportunities of deal flow, and whatever market they're in, you could talk to them and say, hey, listen, if I bring the capital, if I brought the relationships, if I brought the loan, whatever else you could all listen to me bring, that individual brings the deal. And that's all they need to do. And check it out. They deserve to get paid to bring the deal. And they can get paid on the front end a little bit, and that's it, or a lot on the front end, depending on what the deal is. Or they can get paid some up front and some at the end. Or you could be creative and say, I'm going to get paid something up front. I'm going to also help manage the project. I'm going to get paid throughout the project, right? A fee for management, as in me actually taking responsibility every single day, every single week, controlling the construction, making sure it's on track, that kind of stuff. And then ultimately, when we sell this or we refinance it, I can get some additional, as the deal provider, right? I can get some additional incentive to actually get part of the profit on the flip, or get part of the refi proceeds if we're refinancing out, we built some equity up. So it goes back to, who do you know that has deal flow, right? If it's nobody, we got to go find them. You find them on Facebook. You find them in different groups. You find them. The camera got kind of weird. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a little funky. The light got weird. Not sure why. You find them in networking events. You find them in different groups, in person, online. You call them up on the phone, you have a conversation. But check this out. And if you're not, you have to decide this, everybody. I can't do this for you. You have to decide that you're the buyer and you have to be capable of buying property. And when I say capable, like I'm not your attorney, I'm not your CPA. This is just my experience. But if you don't have access to capital or access to the information to buy property, that's step one. And I can help you do both of those things as your coach, right? Just being real. And those of you that work with me know that we can give you a lot of the capital through the commercial lending that we offer through Real Direct Lending and our partners. And I also have the coaching experience, which is part of what you see every week here. So that's two things we can knock out right off the bat to get you what you need to be able to buy property. But then you have to have the willingness to make an offer. Well, first off, we have the willingness to analyze a deal, and then the willingness to make an offer, and then ultimately negotiate the offer. But is that where it ends? No, we have to be willing to enter any contract. And check it out. That contract, a little paper is a little flimsy, but that contract, this is my tangible physical paper is my tangible version of an intangible asset, basically, which is just an agreement. It's tangible in the sense of written. I don't know if it's officially a legal thing, but I'm telling you, it's not property. It's just a piece of paper. But you know what though? This thing's valuable if it's a contract to buy the property. Why is that? Let's talk about economics for a second. This sounds like a business discussion. Is this like a business? Is this like are we getting like our MBA or something like that? No, we're not, but we need to understand these things, right? Because check it out. Supply chain and the economics, if you would, of real estate and real estate investing is so important to understand. If you don't understand how limited supply is in a particular market, if let's say you're doing deals or trying to do deals or attempting to do deals in rural America, with all due respect, all the folks out there that live in a town of less than 1,000 or 2,000 people, like I get it, but it's gonna be really difficult for you to find opportunities to buy that make financial sense. It can be difficult for you to find, probably, unless you're the buyer, it's gonna be difficult for you to find lenders and investors that want to work with you unless they're from the same area, right? So what I want to think about is probably looking at suburban or urban markets for supply. If I want more supply, if I want to be able to buy more things as a real estate investor, I need to look where those deals exist. New Jersey happens to be, I think, the number one, if not one of the top 5, 10, whatever, most densely populated states in the United States of America out of 50. So if you happen to be listening to me in New Jersey, I see Alicia's up there, she knows. New Jersey is pretty densely populated. There's a lot of property trading every single day, every single week. Thousands, if not tens of thousands a week, probably, of properties just boop, 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 in and out, in and out, in and out. As in people buying and selling, right? That's a trade. So I want to go where there's trading of property. If I'm looking to participate on a wholesale basis, as in I want to be able to sell the opportunity to enter into this contract to someone, or I want to be able to take another option is buy the property, own the property, and then sell the property immediately. If I want to do those things, I got to be where there's actual supply that it exists. I can't be looking at areas where it's rural or very spread out. There's no supply of real estate. There's not enough supply to make it a business or make it a reliable stream of income. I hope you guys are getting that. If you have any questions on that so far, just put a comment in. Let me know if you do have any questions on that. I see Tony's in the room as well. What's up, Tony? That's right. People living on top of each other. But Tony, you're down in South Jersey, so that's a little bit more spread out. So you live in a nice area there. So you're not in the densely populated areas, but still it's I'm sure less land. They're not making more land, as they say. Right? Of course, we know, unless you're going to another planet, putting some stuff, putting some more sand on the edge of the coast to build out houses further into the ocean or something, or building an island, who knows? We're not in like Dubai building a new island or something like that. So check it out. Supply. What's the other side of economics? Demand, right? So write down supply and demand. If there is no demand for what you're attempting to wholesale, as in nobody in the economy of real estate investing wants to buy this because it's not a desirable thing, or it's not clearly understandable of what this is, the opportunity, there's very low demand. If there's low demand and low supply, well, that means you're just going to have a difficult time doing deals. If you do deals, that's kind of like a normal measurement of supply and demand. It's like, hey, low and low is, they're basically operating the same level. But how about, what if it's high supply and low demand? What happens to pricing, everybody, when there's a lot of supply and low demand? In Facebook, or you could shout out a comment if you're in the room here, you want to take a shot, put a comment on a chat. High supply, low demand. What happens to price over a short period of time? High supply, low demand. More people want to sell than people want to buy. Price goes down, it dips, it drops. Tony said it, Alicia said it, Cannon said it. Okay. So interesting. So now one strategy is, hey, I'm going to go where there's a lot of supply because I know I could generate demand. Okay. That's one idea. I could generate demand. How do I generate demand? I could take existing demand from a market, for example, let's say in real life, an existing amount of demand in the Northeast part of America, right? If you're a real estate agent and you're thinking about how to add some additional income, as in monthly commission checks, you should be listening very closely to this. If you have clients in northern parts of the United States, Northeast, North in general, where it's colder, and if you don't know the migration paths that people move south at some point in their life, almost, a good, I don't know the percentage, but it's a large percentage of people move south to retire, move south for better weather, move south for other things, other reasons. If you don't realize that, there's actually more of an outflow from probably where your client lives to where they're trying to move. That's something you got to be aware of. Now, it's not everybody, right? People want to be around their family. That's one thing that is not as ideal for us. We live in Florida. Our family is mostly in New Jersey and New York. So it's like tough, but we see them when we can. We see them when they come down to visit. We see them when we go visit them. It might be a couple of times a year. We want to increase that frequency. We can, but it's a two-way thing, right? We have to both sides be willing to do that. And it just depends on what's going on. Life happens, stuff happens. Fact is, migration coming down. So if you're sitting in a southern state, or if you're sitting in a state right now listening to me where you have the migration path coming in, I should say, wait a second, the demand is increasing from other markets, not my existing local market. It's actually coming from outside the state. I'm saying I can create more demand potentially, or play into that demand equation. And why this matters is because if you have a market that has a lot of supply, I'm going to give an example. So there's a particular part of Southwest Florida that has a lot of development. I'm not going to say the city or town because it's not fair. I'm not going to say the people. It's within a 45-minute drive of where I'm sitting right now. Okay. That has a lot of new construction and development happening. If you're in this area, don't share it. I'd rather just keep it kind of as an example, because just let's see where this goes. There's people in my network that are in New Jersey, New York, northern parts of the United States, Pennsylvania, that don't even know about this location. But then when they learn what's happening as far as the amount of capital being invested by big institutions to place mixed use developments, planned unit developments, all kinds of large multi-use, multi-function type areas, building out entire like a city, basically. They might say, well, interesting, I didn't even know that existed. And then they look at the research and see it's one of the top growing in the whole country. They should say, if I could own a piece of real estate in a city or town that has that much demand and that much big money, quote unquote, putting money into that area, there must be something that they know that I should consider listening to. Right? I want to follow demand. I want to follow big demand. There's people that do this with stocks too, right? So I'm not the stock guy, but there's people out there that follow the big fish, the people doing millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. They say, I'm gonna listen to that guy. I'm listening to Warren Buffett. I'm gonna listen to the other guy. I'm listening to those people that know this with millions, tens of millions, billions of dollars that are investing. I'm gonna follow their guidance. So it's like, hey, real estate isn't much different. If there's big business, big companies, big investors investing in these markets, I should say they're paving the way, they're paving the path. So, for example, I was saying before, I can personally, you guys too can say, if you're sitting in a northern state, for example, you could say, if I could learn about deals in a southern market, for example, a place that people are moving into, and then connect with my clients who are in a market where people are moving out of, there could be some what I call arbitrage, right? Some ability for you to influence and educate and provide value to create the demand that doesn't exist yet. That's a way you could do that. So I'm going to leave it at that. But we can look at bringing demand from the north into the south, for example. And that's like what relocation focused agents will do, and investors could do the same thing. But let's take that off the table for a second. Let's just talk about what really is happening. What really is happening around the market, everybody, is that mostly in most markets, most major markets in the United States of America have very low supply relative to the demand that already exists, even in the markets that people are moving out of. So what happens then? Prices go up. It's the opposite, right? Prices will rise, inflation. Now, I got to pull this together for the hybrid wholesale so you guys get the point of this, but you got to understand the backdrop, the foundation. Without understanding economics, you can't figure out how to factor in yourself into a deal like this to see where the value actually is. I'm going to tell you how and show you how in a second here. So it's like, if there's low supply, which there is, and if there's average or greater than demand than usual, which there also is in most markets, not the market. I'm not the market guy. You guys should know by now. I'm not the guy that says the market. That's not my favorite thing. It's actually one of my pet peeves. I don't like the market. There is no the market. It's the entire, what market we talking about? The whole world, the United States, the city, the state, whatever. Like, it's a market, like this market. Okay. In that particular location. So in that particular location, the market there, if the days on market, for example, is less than a certain number, less than maybe 2 weeks or less than 30 days, that means a lot of trades are happening pretty fast. As soon as the property goes up, it goes under contract and it closes pretty fast. If those days on market are 60, 90, 120, more than that days on average, then you got a market that's probably heading towards depressed type market where it's more of a buyer's controlled market. And that's an area that I don't want to really get into myself, because that's, again, like that rural part of investing where you're not going to have as much demand. And I like, when I look at markets to focus on, this is what we're basically doing here. Where is there a lot of activity and where is there a shortage of supply relative still to the demand that either exists now or could exist? And that's why, like, a lot of places point to metro parts of Florida, right? Just to be, I mean, I'm sitting in Florida. It was intentional. It was for lifestyle, but also for investment and business reasons. Florida has many, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami, Fort Myers, Naples, Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale, Tallahassee. Like, these are cities, metro markets that have Cocoa Beach, Clearwater, like these St. Pete's. Like, there's a lot of well-known parts of Florida that have a limited supply relative to not just the Florida demand, not to the Southern United States demand, not to the whole US, but international demand. Okay. International demand. I was in a meeting the other day, everybody, where they're talking about taking a property that's off market and just publishing it on an international website for people that want to invest in America. There's people doing this that are arbitraging the whole world economy, basically the cost of cap, all kinds of cool stuff. This is like advanced, right? I'm just talking about, let's go back to basics today. Let's pick a market that there's a lot of demand. So we pick that market and check it out. If you want to do the hybrid wholesale, I'm going to give you an example right now. Find a wholesaler that already has deal flow in that market. Step one. So write down the steps. Step one, find wholesaler that has a deal. Now, keyword deal, not a lead. And you're not the wholesaler. You're the buyer. Your company is the buyer, right? Find the deal. This is the critical path of what I like to say most people could get their head around and do this. There's many iterations. This is a very simple model that I can help you duplicate, right? As we talk here and also beyond this. One, find a wholesaler that has a deal. Two, make sure it's a deal, right? Double check, verify. That's what you really should check and check again, because it's a new relationship. If you haven't done business yet, analyze that deal, quote unquote. Make sure it's a deal. If it looks like a deal based on profitability, which is an analysis of either I'm going to fix and flip and get this much profit, or I'm going to rent this property out. And everyone notices that I, quote, double quotes, I and my partners, we as a team, we as a group, my, whatever you think of my company, right, are going to make money this way. Okay. It's going to be either flipping and making a profit that way, or renting and making a profit as a cash flow. Those are the two main ways you can make money in real estate that I know about as far as owning property. Okay. We figure out which one's the best. We analyze and check it out. Hey, what's going on? It's Doug with JDL Ventures. I'm giving you a call. I appreciate that opportunity you shared with me over there in Tampa. I'd love to get some more information about this, and that. I did some preliminary analysis. I'd like to see if I could set up an appointment. But first, I'd like to know, I'd like to present an offer. I know you're asking X. I could either, this is me talking to you guys. I could either offer what they're asking. I need to be cognizant of the fact that if it's a wholesaler, there's only going to be so much flex because they have a contract on the property, most likely, if they're doing it right. Wholesalers have to have a contract on the property to market that deal. If you don't have a contract on the property, you're not a wholesaler. You're just a referral, maybe an agent, an actual real estate agent, or just somebody sharing information that you probably shouldn't be sharing because you don't have a contract or don't have any rights to buy or sell. Okay. I hope you guys get that. If you guys are with me, just give me a 1 in the comments if you're hearing me on Facebook, just to make sure this thing's still working. I think it's working fine, but just give me a 1 if you're still here. All right. All right, cool. I see Alicia's here inside Zoom. I don't see any comments yet, but one, just put in one, just so I know it's boom, one. We're here. It's easy. All right. Analyze that wholesale deal. Find a wholesaler. I see Dean. I see Tony. Al, I appreciate you guys. Okay. And I see a wholesale deal. I analyze it as a buyer. What do you mean, Doug? What do you mean? What I mean? Like, are we going to buy real estate? Or are we going to just pretend that we're buying real estate? What are we doing here? So we're going to buy real estate. So I said before, you don't have the financial capacity to buy real estate. You can't be doing this stuff. You got to know how to do that, how to access capital. I see Esther. I see Norma. What's up, Norma? What's up, Sherry, Wendy? So get that figured out, right? If you don't know where to go, figure it out. Go to realdirectlending.com. Commercial lending available to you through multiple funds that we have access to that can deploy capital within a couple of weeks on most of what you need to buy. If you're buying non-owner occupied investment real estate and you're willing to take title in an LLC, because we don't make any loans to individuals. We don't operate with DTI or anything like that. We don't worry about your income or your debt or something like that. We look at the asset and we look at the loan making sense for that asset to be profitable. And then we look at also the individual running that project. All right. So get that figured out. Get the fact of, hey, does this deal have profitability? Okay, it does. And then present the offer as the buyer. Hey, listen, I want to make an offer. I believe we can, I'm confident that we can offer this much and close in this many days. Here it is. You know, does that work for you? Can you send me a contract? I like to be super direct. I don't like to waste time. I can offer you 150, close in 30 days. I need a week-long inspection period. Could you send me a contract today and I'll sign it? That's, some of you don't feel comfortable. That's okay. That might be why also you say, you know what? Hey, Doug, I heard what you just said there. I wanted to get like that. I want to be able to say that confidently without even thinking about it. We should have a conversation, right? If that's you, DM me the word confident. Confident. If you want to get confidence or confidence, I guess is probably a better word, confidence, right? You need that confidence boost. DM the word confidence and I'm with you. I'll help you out. I'll hop on a call for 15 minutes myself, not with somebody else. Joe is awesome. Candace is great. Everybody's awesome, but I'll get on my phone for 15 minutes with you, invest my time to pour into you. If you're just willing to send me a DM and say confidence. Okay. That in and of itself is going to hopefully help you get some more confidence. Okay. But the fact is, we're going to get on the phone for 15 minutes probably next week, the week after, and talk about that, figure out what's going on. Because it's probably just a lack of awareness, a lack of understanding, which I'm trying to give visibility to today. Again, the backdrop is we want to be able to do deals without leveraging, we're not using all of our own stuff if we have it. If we don't have it, we have no option but to leverage others. Okay. But in this example, like I've done many a time, we have to get a deal. Get a deal under contract. Once I have a deal under contract, there's already an existing deal on the table, a potential deal. I don't need to go out there and try to source off market myself. I actually don't even recommend my highest invested coaching clients to do that usually. You know what I say? If you want to buy rental real estate, if you want to buy fix and flips, it doesn't make sense for 95 to 98% of people to go out there and spend a bunch of money on marketing and waste all this time talking to people on the phone that you don't really want to spend time doing. I'm trying to build out a team of cold callers and people doing deal analysis and all this major infrastructure just to buy real estate. You know what makes sense? Find out who's already doing deals and go talk to those people and just build relationships with those individuals to get deals sent to you that already are ready to go and you can just buy off the shelf because they exist. And there's gonna be more of those. If you don't know by now, there's many more of those coming, many reasons. You know, economic reasons, if you can't figure that out as to why. So that being said, okay, you're going to go out there and source that deal with a wholesaler. You're going to negotiate. You're going to get under contract. And then let's say we get the property under contract. I'm working with another wholesaler. Wait, so does that mean we're doing it like that thing they say, like a daisy chain or something like that? That's like a fun word to talk about, right? Daisy chain. What's a daisy chain? A daisy chain means like there's multiple different pieces and it's daisied out. Daisy means like like chains, right? There's multiple individuals or parts of the puzzle. And if there's too many people involved, it gets real funky. And then it's like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. It gets really funky. So we want to eliminate the possibility for that. So I only buy deals. I only buy deals. This was a PSA for the whole group. If you try to send me something to look at, if you have a contract on the property, or if you're the owner of the property, that's it. If you either have a contract on the property or you own the property, I'll consider buying that property from you, that deal or that property. My company will, right? And I recommend the same thing for anybody out there go directly to the owner of the property. If you have the capacity, interest in doing that, especially our agent friends, you're already marketing for listings. You're already marketing for deal flow for your listings side of your business. Hopefully you are. If you're not, then I can help you with that too. Talking to sellers, better go get some wholesale deals if you can from that process and figure out what you can do with it if you want to do the wholesale model. So, and check it out. You're an agent also. So you're perfectly positioned. If you have the deal and you want to make money as a wholesale side of things on the front end, and you're also an agent, you don't even have to do anything else besides just be an agent. You can just help sell the property. Isn't that cool? Like you already have your license to sell it. So you can say, look, I'll bring you the deal. I've already done the comps. Here's the value as is, and here's the value on the sale. And I'm willing to list it, and I'm gonna give you this deal because I'm gonna be a partner in the deal. I'll sell it for you at a discount. I'll manage it fully. So you don't have to think about it. I'll be your partner and take it from purchase to close without having to think about. And I'm just the agent, and I get a piece of the deal. I might get a commission. So you get the point there. Now, those of you that are not agents, check it out. We're good. It's all good. We got a wholesale deal. We're going under contract as a buyer. And then you have people that you've already been in touch with, either through real direct lending or whatever other means that could bring a loan. So if I have a deal and I got a loan that I could take because I qualify for that construction, commercial, private money, hard money type loan, those are two things that are valuable: a deal and the willingness to take a loan. Willingness to take the loan is probably about 80 to 85% of the money we need to do the deal on average. So that means I'm left with 15 to 20% of the money to do the deal. I say to my friend, my partner, my investor, my collaboration partner, whatever, hey, listen, if we could work a deal out, this goes into the hybrid wholesale process. Once I get that contract and I know that this deal makes sense and I have the loan pretty much on standby, ready to be taken, like borrow the money, I don't have to have the money, liquid capital. I just have to have the willingness to have a conversation with someone that does, just like the meeting I was in just before this, right? The meeting, not before this, but the physical meeting that I went to afterwards. There was an individual, two individuals actually that are part of our coaching group that are looking to buy this property, that another individual who's part of this exchange group, and a third individual who's also part of the exchange group. One guy has the deal, another person has the capital to put down, and then my clients are willing to run the project and take the loan. And I don't have anything to do with that. That's their decision. And they might be listening to me. I hope they do listen to me and they do this if it makes sense. They're probably looking at the property now. Hopefully they are, because that's how fast things go. Fact is, you don't need to have all that stuff. All you need to do is, hey, I got resources of people. Let's talk about numbers, dollars and cents for a second. Let's say that we do this deal. Let me give you 4 buckets to kind of break down the numbers so you get some perspective on what's possible here. Dollars and cents, percentages. Are you guys cool with that? If you guys want to know the numbers, just put in the comment numbers, right? Just put comment numbers. And if you're in the chat, same thing, numbers. I know we're going to get into it, but just let me see who's listening. Super Hands there. He said he hate them. I think he's probably talking about daisy chain wholesalers, probably. Al says needs some confidence and assistance. I got you, man. Let's definitely talk about that. I think you're a pretty confident guy, actually, Al. And Esther's got confidence. She just needs some assistance. So that sounds like a great reason we should have a conversation. Dane wants to know the numbers. Okay. Alex says numbers. Candace says numbers. Norma's numbers. Okay, good. You guys are listening. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. It's already 48 minutes into the call. Well, 45 probably. Out of this, what's the outcome? The outcome is you're going to grow a business. You're going to grow an income stream that will lead to a business if you choose to do that. An income stream is first. Generate income. Income turns into more income if you want it to, if you focus on it. And if it turns into more income, it compounds and multiplies and becomes a business. Income can then replace other forms of income, like where some of you might be at right now, working for someone else, saying to yourself, I wish I could just fill in the blank. Whatever you want to say about that. I wish this, I wish that, I need this, I wish I had more. You don't have to wish, because this is the answer. I'm telling you right now, this is not like fluffy stuff. Like legitimately, this model has made our company, God knows how many, probably millions of dollars. I don't know the quantity. Well, definitely it's most of what we do. So it is millions. It's not like small amounts of money. Over the course of a decade, to be fair, not like yesterday. You know, I wish maybe one day it will. But at the end of the day, it's the fact of this is a relationship-based model. Here's where we're at. There's four. There's 4 right there. 1, the deal. Bucket number 1, the deal. 2, the capital. So we got deal flow, capital flow, right? Check it out. There's construction usually. When you're renovating a property to sell, you're going to have some kind of construction. That's important. And then there's 4, which is the exit. The exit is sale on a flip or refi if you're using leverage on the front end on the keep, on the hold. So what does that mean? Well, if I could bring some or all of these things, these 4 things, I could bring the deal, the capital, and or the construction, and or the exit. The more you bring, what do you think? The more you can make. The more value you bring, the more I can make. So if you write this down, when you think, what am I saying to myself? What am I affirming? What am I confirming? What am I calling into existence through whatever you believe in? I believe in God. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. So I say, God, I believe I am able to do this because I have these things. I know that you're going to help me do this in some capacity. So here's what I have. Help me find this individual that has this thing that I need. And you know what? I'm blessed to say most of the time it happens faster than I expect. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but it happens. And it's not through my doing. It's just by having a heart and having a concern and just being good people, right? And connecting with great people. So it's like, that's me, but you guys have your own methods, but you have to say, I am able to do this because of X, Y, Z. I have this and I need these people to help me just complete the model, complete the puzzle. So I have deals. I have capital through lending capacity, right? I happen to have construction experience. I happen to have a lot of things, but check it out. On a particular deal, I may not want to bring all those things. You guys, you might feel like, well, what about me? Like, what if I don't have any of those things? Well, how do I do that? Then you just got to find who has one of them. Find the who has one of them. Let's go through it. Deals. What's a deal worth? We've had wholesale deals that my company's been involved with that have been as small as $2,000 some dollars. 2,000 was probably the smallest check we ever got from a closing as a wholesaler. Upwards of almost a couple $100,000. But that, to be fair, was a wholesale that eventually we had to close and then we sold the property. So that doesn't really count. The biggest one besides that was probably close to 100 grand. We didn't have to take title to. That's on one individual transaction. And that's because the people that were involved, the process that was involved, the system, if you would call it that. Here's the system. I bring a deal. I get a deal under contract with somebody who already has a deal. I add value by my connections, my relationships. Check it out. If you don't have them, what do you think you need to do right now? As soon as we're done here, you better get out there and start making some phone calls, sending out some messages. Hey, what's going on? It's Doug. Hey, what's going on? It's Joe. Hey, it's Alicia. Hey, it's Marlo. Hey, it's John. Hey, it's Candence. Hey, Norma. This is Norma talking. It's Tony. Hey, what's up? It's Tony. I'd love to find out how I could add value to what you're working on because we're in the same business. I'd love to work on things together and collaborate. Check it out. Do me the favor. If you're in this group and you don't want to collaborate, do me a favor. It's all good. Just excuse yourself out the door. We don't want people like that in this room. You know why? Because it ruins the culture of collaboration. If you want to do it just for you and only for you and not for anyone else, if you don't care about others, you don't belong here right now. With all due respect, I have nothing against you personally. I just don't want you in this group. So you could just say, you know what? Thank you for calling me out on that. Whatever you can say, whatever you want to say, but just step out the side and we'll take care of collaborating together. Because that's what this business is about. It's a team sport. I've been an athlete my whole life. I've always played a position. I haven't played the whole sport myself. Basketball is 5 people, right? Even track and field, shot put and discus, right? I committed my life in college to that, plus academically. But I was given scholarship as a shot put and discus thrower, right? You guys heard me talk about that maybe once in the past, a long time ago. I was Division I All East, but I'm just saying that so you know, like I committed myself, I poured my soul into that sport, right? But I played on a team, even though I was the one throwing the thing. So check it out. If I won my meet as the best thrower, or if I got second or third, whatever I got, we still could have lost as a team because I wasn't there cheering my sprinters on, my friends that were doing hurdles, the people doing high jump and long jump and triple jump and running a mile or two or whatever number of meters it was. I don't even know because I wasn't the runner, obviously, not that guy. So fact is, it was a team sport. We got to score, even though it was an individual competition. So really almost every sport I could think of, right? You guys might have something, you like trying to call me on it, whatever. If there's an individual only sport, then so be it. But check it out at an aggregate level. That's not, I hope that's not the player's main goal. It's just about me, me, me. That's greed. That's not cool. Like, think about the bigger picture. So in this business of real estate investing, it's a team sport. So I got to say, who are the people? What are the roles? Deal, capital, funding, and construction, selling or refi. So again, on the deal side, a typical wholesale deal. If you're listening to me right now, it's May 19th, 2023. I don't have industry averages. I'm not that caught up with everybody who's doing deals all across the country. I'm just not, and whatever it is. But I'll tell you, people I know are averaging between 10 to 20 grand a wholesale flip, pretty much without an issue when they're doing a wholesale deal the right way. $10,000 to $20,000 for an assignment of contract is what you can expect. It's not going to be a couple $1,000 or $1 million either. It's going to be somewhere between 10 to 20 grand if the rest of the numbers make sense. Well, wait a second. So what do I have to have? If I have a deal, it's not as simple as saying, I got this deal in Spring Hill. It's a 1.5, 1,300 square foot. I can offer it to you for 170. It needs about 20K worth of work, and you're going to go ahead and sell it for 250. That's cool. All right. I got some value there. But what about who's going to fund it? What about who's going to do construction? What about who's going to sell it? Hey, I got this deal in Spring Hill. I'm going to offer it because I have a contract on the property for 170. It's worth 250. You can put 30K into it and keep it as a rental. I could fund and help you fund 80 to 90% of the front end. I can give you the contractor referral in that area that could do the work for you for $30,000 or less. And I can give you the referral, or actually in this case, in my case, it's a refi loan through a DSCR loan to refinance out at 250 as long as it appraises, which I believe it will be. All we have to do is bring in some capital, and are you willing to take on the project as a deal? And if you heard that and you're looking for a rental in Spring Hill, Florida, you probably should be saying, yes, I'm good. Let's go do that deal. Because I gave the package. So the deal is not just the deal. In my book, the deal is the package. You know, I was in that meeting before, so I got nothing against anybody in the room. I'm like the new guy though, so I got to respect the room. There's a lot of folks have been there for a long time. It's like I'm the student, right? And I'm okay admitting that, but I also have a certain focus. And so, like, you know, I can't butt my head into too many things because I don't want to be out of line. But at the same time, certain individuals say certain things like, hey, look, you could do it that way, but that's not the way we normally do it. And that's okay too. Just that everybody does it different. But I had to step back. But the fact is, if I'm pitching a deal, I want to think about whatever the deal I'm pitching is. If it's a wholesale flip, if it's a partnership scenario, if it's a joint venture, whatever the case is, I need to think about how do I make it easier for somebody to say yes to that. If I can make it easier for someone to say yes to what I'm offering, and it takes away the issue of what if this and what if that, and I could this, I have to get what is called the same thing we said before, confidence. I have to be confident. If I'm not confident, I'm not going to be able to instill confidence in someone else. So I need to think again like a buyer. But when you do, here's the punchline: that 10 to 20K, let's call it 20K for a second, right? $20,000 that you could just literally sell the contract. That's the reality in wholesaling. You could just get a property under contract after properly analyzing it, enter into a contract, have the money available to do the deal, have a relationship with someone else that wants to take over, and you sell your interests through like an assignment of contract or something else to do that kind of wholesale flip. But what if you don't need all the 20K right now, or you don't care about the 20K as much? What if you were willing to take 5 or 10 or even 7, whatever the number was, or even 15, and we took the other 10, 12, 15K and we said, I'm going to commit this as quote unquote equity. I'm going to bring this bit of additional money that I would otherwise have gotten as a wholesaler, just a wholesaler, and I'm going to bring it to the project. I'm going to bring it to the partnership. And ideally, it's an and. I'm also willing to do X. Willing to go help whenever needed to go run to the property and do this or that. I'm willing to go hire or find a contractor. I'm willing to go take a loan. I want to do all those things. If you just brought the deal, in my experience, and you literally just brought together the individuals to take on that project, but you're like, I want to stay in the deal, you can expect to capture between 30 to 50% of the part. You're going to capture that 30, 50% up front. So that 10K and the 20K, you're maybe like 6 or 10K up front. And then the other part, I want to inversely relate that to say, I want to earn like 50 to 100% more of what I would have got as a wholesaler by taking that risk. So I want to get to where it's getting me at least a total of 20K at the end, if not a 30 or 40K in that example. But then what? I also get the experience. So to recap, I'm going to make a little bit of money up front as a wholesale, but I'm going to wholesale that deal to the partnership of the person that's actually going to buy that deal. And I'm going to jump into that partnership with that individual to bring additional value besides just the wholesale. I'm going to actually manage the renovation. I'm going to help source the contractor. I'm going to find the money, the capital for the loan. I'm going to do whatever else I could do. I could sell the property if I'm an agent. And for doing those things and making it easier for someone to say yes, I can earn an additional 50, 100% of whatever I was going to earn initially. So that is great because, again, you're making the same or more money. You're getting some money up front. This is what we call a hybrid wholesale because you're getting some money up front and you're getting more money in the back. And you have the experience, which is invaluable, not a dollar amount. I'm telling you right now, the challenges that we've had, the things that I face every day shape me to be stronger, to lead you all and help you all understand the reality of real estate investing. And I don't know everything, but every time I learn something, my responsibility is to come here at the next opportunity and share it with you guys. Because if I heard it and it's valuable to this group, then my obligation, what I've been called to do, is to serve you all, literally, and share the nuggets that I learned in the process of being a real estate investor myself. The fact is, you have a responsibility to do the same thing with people around you that you care about, your people that you partner with, the people that invest with you, the people that do deals with you. Share the resources that you have. There's multiple people I can see on my screen that are real estate agents. Why wouldn't you ask for the listing if you had a deal that you could do a renovation project with someone on? Why wouldn't you say, I'll give you a discount on the commission if you just let me partner up and get 10% of the deal or 20% of the deal for managing the project? Let's talk about that for a second. My first 3 flips in Florida were before COVID when I was living in New Jersey, my family still. Fun fact. And there were technically 2 that we actually completed and 1 that we sold after we moved down. It's a long story for another day, but it worked out okay, but it wasn't perfect. Let's put it that way because of COVID and stuff like that. So the fact is, 2 of those were done without me stepping foot in the property in the buy, without me stepping foot in the property during the construction, and without me stepping foot in the property after we were going to sell it. Like when we trying to sell it, marketing and selling it. And I got to give a kudos to my partner who brought me the deal. His name's Michael. He lives in another state right now, but hopefully he hears this message. Hopefully we can collaborate on some stuff. He was a super important and valuable resource for me because he helped me source the deal. He helped me manage the construction and find the contractor first, actually. He helped me bring the contractor to the table that was local in that part of Florida. Happens to be, one of them was in Spring Hill, right? One of the quickest flips. We were in and out within 93 days. Quickest flip I've ever done of a renovation and sell. It wasn't just wholesale flip. We actually renovated the place and it was super fast and easy rental, but the right people, because Michael was my guy and is, but just haven't done deal recently. That's okay. We'll get to a deal. We'll maybe do something in Montana. We'll do something down here in Florida. Who knows? But the fact is, without him, literally, I'm not afraid to tell you guys this. It's not just about Doug and Douglas J. Beck and himself, like, JDL and all. It's no, without Michael, without Joe, without Candace, without my clients like Alicia, Marla, everyone else, this all, and Katie, wouldn't be possible. People on Facebook, it's a team game. So the challenge is every one of us has a piece of the puzzle in our head. This is the biggest challenge. So I'm going to ask as a takeaway for today. And if you guys have questions, I know it says I'm open for questions in the Zoom for like 10 minutes. And we're a little bit over, but figure this out. In the comments on Facebook, even if you're a TGC member, I want you all to make it a responsibility for today, as in today, to go into this replay and put into the comment the top 2 or 3 things that you believe you could bring value to the group. And that's for people listening to this right now, the people listening to this on replay. I want at least 2 things you could bring value to the group, if not 3 or 4. You can put as many as you want. And I'm not considering it spam. You could put up your business card if you want to do that. That's totally fine. I want to know who's here, who's somebody we could benefit that could benefit us. And you guys need to take responsibility to listen and actively participate in that process. So go into the comments, even right now, if you hear me in Facebook, and post, hey, I heard what Doug was talking about today. I'm really excited about working together with some people in this group. Here's the 2 or 3 things that I could bring to the table. I'm willing to do this. I get this. I'm willing to bring that. Here's who I know. Here's the areas I think I can focus on and help. Let's see how we can collaborate. Because check it out. Put all the cards on the table. And then we shuffle and sift and sort and figure out where there's synergy. This is happening inside of our private coaching group right now. Like we have 2 deals with 3 clients that are collaborating amongst themselves and also with us in different ways to do their first 2 flips. 3 people are getting their first deal closed because of this process. So if you think that it's hyperbole or craziness, I hate to say it again, with all due respect, if you don't want to participate, it's all good. Like nothing but love, but you got to maybe step to the side, make some room for someone who is willing to collaborate. So participate to collaborate though. If you don't participate, you will not collaborate. It's just not possible. You got to say, here's what I got. Here's what I bring. Here's who I am. Here's why I think we should talk. Here's where I could bring value to you. All right. Do that. And then you're going to see people coming out of the woodwork saying, oh, you're willing to get a loan to go do a rehab project? Well, I got some capital I want to put to work off my HELOC or my private money that I have in my bank account, or I have a self-directed IRA that I can't use the funds on my own project. So I have to go invest or lend them to somebody else. And we can collaborate together that way. If you go take the loan, run the project, I'll give you money passively as an investor. Or, hey, I have a lot of experience in construction. I'd love to jump in and be your contractor and help you run that project successfully. I'm willing to be held accountable, do it on a cost plus basis, or I'm going to do it at cost period and just earn my plus on a profit basis. I'm looking for that. So if you're a contractor in the room looking to do your first flip, let's talk, because I have probably projects or clients that need what you offer. If you're a person that has capital that wants to participate on a project with me, we might already be in touch, but let's have a conversation. Let's see how we can participate. Let's see how we can joint venture. Let's see how we can work together to create a profitable scenario for both of us. If you're someone that has a deal, right? Anybody in this room that has a deal anywhere, I want to hear about it, because you know why? If I don't get it and buy it, I probably could find a way to make a loan on that deal through a commercial loan through the funds that we have a relationship with. And I also have clients that are looking for deals too. So pretty much no matter how you slice it, I want to bring value to you. So if you don't tell me what you need, it's not really a mastermind group anymore. It's just like hey, we're here to talk about real estate and just continue to talk about real estate and talk about real estate and get some food and talk about real estate. That's not my favorite kind of group. My favorite kind of group is what I learn from in the exchange meeting every week is a collaboration. Hey, I got this deal. He's got that. She's got this. Let's figure out a way to put this thing together and make this happen. That's the model we need to emulate here virtually. So check it out. I appreciate you guys being here with me. I'm going to refresh my page in case you got stagnant and see what kind of comments we got. Hopefully nobody's yelling about me kicking them out of the group or just telling you to leave in case you don't want to participate that way. So excellent. So I would ask for my TGC members, if you'd like to ask a question, now's the opportunity. Just if you could, when you come off a mute, if you do have a question, go ahead and actually unmute yourself, introduce where you're based out of and what you're looking for, and then ask your question. So folks in the room here on Zoom, anyone wants to take a shot. Also, any folks like Joe or Candace, feel free to do the same thing. You can just talk about what you do with us, what you do outside of the group as far as your own personal investments and that kind of thing. So feel free to jump in. If not, no sweat. It's here for you.
Hey guys, I'll jump in real quick. This is Joey Rosario. I'm the business development director for Douglas and his associated companies. I do a lot outside of real estate. In real estate, I'm a passive investor with a lot of the projects that come across our desks. And I just wanted to point out that everyone on Facebook, thank you for participating. Thank you for your excitement. We're going to be reaching out to some of you. Doug said a few things today. And if you truly raise your hand and you really want to get into what is real estate investing, we can help you. It's not fluff. You just want to help. You have to want to help yourself, and we can make it happen together. And it's happening right now in the Growth Collective. We chose that name very, very carefully. It's a collective dedicated to your growth. So we truly mean that. And what I love about Douglas the most is that when he says the word serve, it's not coming from a faraway place. The man is a man of faith. He really means it when he says serve. So take that with a grain of salt. I work for the guy, right? But
yeah,
become part of what we do. And I think you can benefit in a very big way.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that, man. And I can't say enough great things about Joe. I've known him for a number of years, and he's been instrumental in helping us through some challenging projects in early days and also wholesaling some stuff in early days, and then got into really helping grow the companies on all levels because of his experience and his network and the resources of time he's committed to what we do. So thank you, Joe. Appreciate that, man. Anyone else have a question or a comment for today? If not, again, it's your time. You got another 5 to 10 minutes here. We need it.
I was trying to see who was watching in Facebook Live. Esther, I believe I had a conversation with her yesterday. Is that Esther?
Oh, Esther heard the class today with Douglas. I'm a team player, confident, energetic, but no experience. Would like to work without others that we can share and learn from deals to get done.
Awesome. I just want to give a little shout out to Esther.
Awesome. What's up, Esther? Candace says hello too. Thank you, Candace. There she is. Hold on. I'm going to add anything else you want to add, Candace, as far as what the group should hear about it with, some of your experiences, even outside of the Growth Collective and working together with us. Anything else you want to share about what you do? Also, you could share about what you do as in real estate day to day.
Yep, I am an investor-friendly real estate agent, and I started out working with on-market properties and also being an investor myself. And when I came to work with the company, I definitely learned everything that I didn't know. And one of Douglas's favorite sayings, which I butcher all the time. Maybe Doug, can you just say it for me? I know what I know.
It, sir? Oh, you know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. Like, it's hard to figure out, like, wait a second. So you're saying that I don't know it, but I didn't know it. So now I found out that I didn't know it. So now I know that I don't know it, but let's go figure out how to know it.
Exactly. And I see Alicia there shaking her head, yes, because she knows exactly what I'm talking about as a real estate agent like me. So now, I mean, it's a completely different world, and I have all of these things that I can offer my clients, whereas before I was just a child compared to what I feel like I know now.
That's awesome.
So growth here, it really is the Growth Collective. I mean, that's what we do. We grow together. And even me working inside the Growth Collective and being the client success manager, I mean, I've grown incredibly and learned so much. So I can't recommend it enough.
That's
I
awesome.
can't say things.
Very cool. Excellent. Thank you, Candace. Thanks so much for that. Yeah, I know, and a lot of you here that are in this group came as a result of Candace and some of the team members inviting you to the group, especially early on. So I appreciate you being here and participating. And thank you to Candace also for getting those folks into this room. And for everyone else who's invited somebody. So if you're listening to this message now, and you know at least a couple people that could benefit, just do us a little favor, go on top of the page. It's like got a green button on my screen that says invite them to the group, or you can send them to thereimastermind.com, thereimastermind.com. And what that does, it takes them to a page, and they can just fill out a quick little form. They go into the system, they get their link to go to the page, which you're on now, listening to this message, and then we'll be in here. And then you can collaborate with them inside the group as well. I got time for one more question, if there is one, or a comment, and then we'll go from there.
I just want to say, I appreciate you, and you always give us some new information. I'm writing it down. I have been implementing things. I know I haven't been sharing on Slack and getting on and sharing, but I was able to play a part in a wholesale deal. It's under contract. They're working out the contract part of it, but they accepted the offer. I'm happy, and I thank you.
That's awesome. That's so huge.
Yes.
I love hearing that.
Thank you.
Alicia, let us know if we can help in any way. We want to make sure that you see that at the closing and celebrate that. That's awesome.
I appreciate it. Yes, I will.
Outside of wholesaling, just so we got some folks up in New Jersey, how can you serve folks up in New Jersey from a real estate perspective besides just the wholesale side?
Sure. I'm also able to list, market, and manage. I have guys that do construction, so we're also able to do boots on the ground and take pictures and send people over to make sure guys are doing what they're supposed to do. That is probably my strongest point, because I like to make sure things get done. You guys know for a fact I cry when they're not getting done. So
Totally.
Also, I'll be quick. Tomorrow, I'm meeting with another agent that's great with marketing. So she's going to help me with the new page and everything, and a new picture and a new page. And I'm on the board with that as well. How did you say,
that's
Candace?
Awesome.
Investor-friendly realtor. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
So check it out. If you guys are looking to get deal flow, right, or just someone who's in the business like you, in the New Jersey market, northern New Jersey market, connect with Alicia. Alicia, you're on Facebook, obviously. Can people find you there?
Definitely. I am Alicia Powers on Facebook. Yes.
Excellent. So send her a DM and say you're looking to connect and see if you guys could collaborate. I know. Thank you, Alicia, for that, and excited for your deal there. I'm going to share one quick story, and then I'm going to wrap this up for today. So I was in a coaching conversation on Wednesday with another group that I coach with, and one of the gentlemen there is actually a super successful real estate agent in PA, and actually also is a real estate investor now and collaborates with people that I know that are very successful real estate investors. And he was willing to raise his hand and let us kind of go through an analysis of his social media. And we don't really consult on social media as part of like our normal offer, but we just kind of help clients if we can, because we know a lot about that from being part of different groups. And so I did like a mini sort of audit, if you would, of his social media profile and what he's got going on. He's trying to add more people in his network to do deals. And so if you guys want to see that, I want to get his permission, and we could ask maybe Candace or Joe can reach out to him. I'll share with you who that is specifically. But if he's okay with it, at least the part that I'm talking, I'd like to take that into a little clip of maybe 20 to 30 minutes and share that as a resource for those of you listening today. If you want that clip, if we assume we were allowed to use it, or I'll do another one, just say social, right? Social, just comment social or DM me social. And then what we'll do is we'll show you how to use social media, right? Very simply, how to add a bunch of friends, how to get people connected that have the things that you need. So you could do this hybrid wholesale with people that you haven't even met yet, because you're bringing value to them and you're specifically targeting them in a way that's going to identify the lead type that you want to ultimately do business and have conversations to do business with, and then develop relationships with, and ultimately profit with. So that's the part of the puzzle that maybe you're missing too, is like, I don't have the right connections yet. How do I do that? Now, I will say that on that note, right, and I see a couple of social comments. Thank you guys for participating, Esther and Al and Tanzia, sorry, excuse me. And then I see Susan's there as well. So check it out. Maybe you don't have a lot of time right now. Maybe you're just looking to get this going and you want us to do some of the heavy lifting for you. Then that's a good reason you might want to consider asking about the done for you service that we have a couple of clients right now utilizing. We're building out your websites. We're building out your social media. We're building out your back office. We're building out all the technology framework so that you could send more traffic and more leads to your website that turn into appointments, which then turn into what? Conversations that then turn into profit. So if you want that extra set of hands, if you want us to literally help build it for you, just do me a favor and comment DFY, done for you. We'll get in touch. We can only take on a couple more clients. We have a couple right now active that we're building stuff out for, and a couple of them are actually really close to being ready. We have a fully blown website with optimization. We have email autoresponders, which are basically email messages that go out on a systematic basis when someone opts into a website for those clients, being built out and actually launched in one case and about to be in the other case. We have optimization of social media profiles happening, right? And to be happening more, coaching on the marketing process to connect with those individuals you want to connect with and ultimately generate more of what you want. This is universal, not just to real estate investors. This is really for real estate agents, for mortgage professionals. One of our clients actually has built a very successful mortgage business and also a real estate investor. And so we have a soon to be use case study for an individual that's going to generate more appointments, both for her investment business as well as her mortgage business. And so if you're looking to get more leads, more qualified leads, which I think everybody here who's trying to do more business should be thinking, like, how do I get more leads that are qualified leads? The done for you process is stellar. And it's mostly organic, meaning like we're not having to spend money on ads. There's not an outbound of money. It's not an outflow of money. It's an initial investment to get the system built out. It's a time period that has to pass for us to do the work. But then once that's set up, it's persistent. It means that it doesn't have to change, right? It's just doing it, and it's just a system. So that's the beautiful thing. It's a one-time kind of investment in the time and the money, but ultimately ongoing return. So how about that ROI? Ongoing, right? It's like buying a piece of property. It's constantly paying you month after month. Same concept. So again, DFY in the comments. Otherwise, we appreciate you guys. If you want to learn more about this hybrid stuff, you could send also a message hybrid. We're happy to talk about that in detail. If nothing more, continue to be here Fridays at 1, and we'll see you there. Actually, next week, we didn't even talk about this as a team yet. Next week is the Friday before Memorial Day. So we got to see about schedules. We're either going to shift around, or we might keep it. I'm not sure yet. So stay tuned for that. Monitor your email, monitor the Facebook group. We're going to talk as a team probably early next week to finalize that. You'll see more information about that. But in the meantime, go out there and take action. Let us know how things are going. And we're talking real soon. God bless you guys and have a great weekend. And I'll talk to you then. See ya.